What's up guys, in this video I wanted to go over some stuff about the PTS and the title update 3 that we're going to be getting next month. With phase 2 rolling out, they did a lot of stuff to this PTS, and I'm sure you guys have seen the videos and read the posts, so I'm not going to go over all of that for you. Nobody likes reruns. But what I did want to talk to you about was the changes they made to how the game feels now, because very few people are talking about it, and if they are, it was like 8 minutes in, and maybe you didn't watch that far. Anyways, Massive has stated in their post that they were lowering NPC health and damage at the higher difficulties. They specifically asked for feedback on missions and control points at the higher levels. Now, they did say that Heroic would still be very hard, so I don't see the change there being that massive, but I spent some time in some challenging missions in Tier 3 and 4 control points. The gameplay in the back is challenge level mission with some pretty crabby gear on. Also, please excuse my pretty bad keyboard and mouse skills, I am a console pleb at my core. I did the gear part, of course, on purpose. Like, I'm 450 gear score, this is a mongrel setup, the only thing worth anything I think is my unstoppable perk, and I have 210,000 armor, so nothing even great there. As you can see, I only struggle with a 1v1 on things like armored dogs and heavies, but those things are supposed to be tanky, right? As far as their sponginess goes, it's way down from what it is in the current game, at least to me. I don't know, maybe that's just a placebo effect, but I just don't feel like they're taking as much damage as they used to, and I certainly don't feel like with this setup, I will be doing nearly as much damage in the actual live game right now. They also said that they would be tweaking the damage of NPCs at higher levels. This one, I didn't really notice all that much. I mean, maybe I'm taking less damage and just haven't realized it. The only super noticeable thing that I found was the medic's pulse grenade doesn't kill me in like 4 ticks anymore. So I love that change, those things were just brutal before. But overall, if they tweaked it, in my opinion, it was just enough. This is a cover-based shooter, and you're supposed to prioritize your positioning on the level to be successful. You aren't supposed to be able to run around, Call of Duty style, just mowing down every enemy that comes your way. It's supposed to be strategic and gratifying when you find a good spot to smoke some enemies. Moving on from NPCs, the overall talent tweaks and attributes modifications, the talents are in line with what the NPCs are now capable of doing. Their health has been scaled to the point that if our talents were the exact same as what they are now in the live game, it would be so broken. If you were running Berserk, you would be slaying literally everything in sight in like 3 bullets from just about any gun. It wouldn't be the same game and arguably wouldn't be as satisfying. Most of the talent tweaks I think are in line with what we're needing, and seems to be moving towards a more defensive-based gameplay, which I'm on the fence about. I kind of like the DPS meta, but at the same time, it almost feels like we're going to be getting that variety that we wanted when the game launched. Skills will now be more accessible with the inclusion of auxiliary batteries and mods, and the new mod vendors selling blues and potentially being able to craft them as well. Not to mention, if you get a God-rolled skill attribute, you can now recalibrate it at 100% of its original attributes most of the time. I've played around with the recalibration and have yet to find something that would not give me its full value whenever I moved it over, and I hope I stick with that paradigm because it's much more pleasant than having to do it the way that we currently are. Recalibration as a whole is much better on the PTS server than it is in the live game, and I'm super happy about it. Also, they noted more defensive attributes were going to be dropping on gear. That's something we definitely needed, especially for variety, because I found a lack of blue attributes when trying to make builds. It was almost always skill and damage modifiers. The only change I'm kinda salty about was the Chem Launcher Reinforcer variant, no longer stacking the way it used to, so you can't drop 2 heals and get your armor back right away. I understand why they did it. In PvP, it was kinda nuts to go against a skill build player who could basically heal through anything that wasn't a Nemesis shot or a nade launcher round. But for PvE, it was my go-to, and now I'm not sure, unless I spec some stuff into it, whether or not it's going to be as effective as it was. But I won't cast any judgment yet, as, like I said, the skills are going to be so much more applicable and available now to your builds that I think that maybe they were going for this because if you dropped 2 and stacked it with the way that the meta is going to be, it would be ridiculously overpowered. All in all, I think this update is going to be really healthy for the game in terms of build diversity. I wanted to get some gameplay of PvP to see if normalization had been changed, but I think that deserves its own video entirely. Honestly, I have high hopes for this title update 3. The balancing is kind of right where I think I would like it to be. Maybe a few things need to be changed, but not a whole lot though. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've played the PTS, what you think of the changes, or if you haven't, let me know how you're feeling about what you're reading about it. Like this video, it really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel for future Division 2 content. With that, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.